Carolina. Tamala. Wow, thank you so much, Tamala. Thank you. Mayor Lyles is here. Thank you. And to each of you, look, we have moved beyond weeks to this election. We've beyond days. We're inside 150 hours, people, till we get to do this thing. 150 hours. And what you saw last night wasn't a closing argument that the vice president made in front of 100,000 people in this nation. It was a vision for a new way forward. It was an ability. That is how presidents talk, about unifying this country, about plans to reduce prices, about the things we care about, whether it's reproductive rights or tackling gun violence. That's what this was about. So look, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but I keep saying this. It's time for the choir to sing. It is time for the choir to sing. Now it's about the fundamentals. It is about the details of winning this, and we have a better ground game. We have better folks that are committed to getting this done. We've got a better plan. We've entered that phase where this is the get out the vote. We've made our case. Look, she made it last night, and she's been making it. Donald Trump made it Sunday in New York City, where they were at. Yeah. As Barack Obama said when I was with him, don't boo, vote. Don't boo, vote. So, but it's true. They made the case. They want to divide. They want to denigrate our citizens, our fellow citizens in Puerto Rico and across the board. But look, is that a surprise to anybody? We knew exactly where Donald Trump was. But as she said, that's not where the American people are at. That's not where we're at as a country. And 250 years of this grand experiment are not going to be brought down by a con man from New York City. I'll guarantee you that. They're not going to be brought down. So nobody said it would be easy, but every one of you knows that old adage, and it's true. Anything worth having is worth working for. And that hard work can be good work. And what Kamala has shown us too is hard work can be joyful work. Hard work can be good. This is a privilege. We have to fight to hold this democracy. Billions of people around the world couldn't imagine gathering in a hot room on a beautiful day to be gathering turf, to go knock on doors and talk to their fellow citizens about a better way forward, a unified way forward. So, look, it is a privilege to be in this space. I'm honored to be on this ticket, but what we know in this country, we're all in it together. Kamala has spent her entire life in service to one thing, the people, and that's what she's done. And you heard her talk about that. And look, we know the bar tends to be a little higher for some people. There's some women in this room that agree to that. Folks that understand they set the bar. Every single thing, she's risen above it. And I think for all of you in here, we've talked about it for too long, and some of us who are gray-haired, we've talked about, oh, someday that glass ceiling will be broken. Well, that someday is 6 days away. 6 days away. So she doesn't talk about it much, but I do, because I think all of us understand in here it's time to do that. So look, you've got work to do out there on the doors. We've got opportunities to make a difference. Lots of folks are just starting to still listen. They're still out there. And it became clearer and clearer over these days that we can choose a path that includes everyone, that is hopeful, that it adheres to the American values, or we can get dark, negative, and sink into a place that's all about one person, Donald Trump. That's the choice. It truly is that simple. And I saw somebody editorialized in somewhere a while back and said, well, joy is not really a plan, and how far can you go on that? I said, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm going to stand with the joyful people over hate. I'm going to stand with them. Because how else could we carve out a life here? This is our heritage. We are a resilient people. We're full of grit. We're full of optimism. And the one thing we know is we see those less fortunate not as punchlines for jokes. We see them as our neighbors and people we're going to stand for. So this is an opportunity. When do you get the chance? When do you get the chance over 150 hours to change the trajectory of not just the next 4 years, but the next 40 years? When do you get the chance to lift up the ideals and stand for this? Because I'm telling you, we got some little ones here, but all of you here, I said someday, I know, we're going to be sitting on that porch in that rocking chair, and we're going to have little ones standing by us, and they're going to say, what did you do in 2024 to save the democracy? And the answer is every damn thing we could. So North Carolina, get out there. I know you've all voted. You heard the details, early voting. You can go down to Matthews Library. Somebody tell me if I got that wrong, but they told me you can do one-stop shopping on that and get your votes in. But here's what it's going to matter. Get those folks who aren't quite sure. Get those folks who say things like, oh, I'm not really into politics. Your answer is too damn bad. Politics is into you. We're voting. And take them to vote. Take them to vote. Get those people there. Give them a reason for it. Give them hope. Tell them why it's there. And now is the time for us to stand up on our ideals. To be in a room like this, it is a privilege. So, North Carolina, from behalf of a Midwestern Minnesotan, we've got a lot of sayings out there, but I think we all know on this is you got to be pretty damn tough to just grit this thing out, to know that we're tired on it. But look, do it with a smile, do it with your neighbor in hand, and know that we are going to say, as Tamala said, Madam President is our way. Let's go.
With Halloween just a couple days away, you'll probably have more chocolate than normal lying around the house.
That's right. But before you grab it, WCNC Charles Megan Bragg verifies if there's a health issue you'll want to know about.
Well, this is my favorite candy bar, Reese's, but can my favorite snack cause me to have acne? Let's verify. Our sources, Dr. Sarah Taylor, dermatologist at Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist, and Dr. Jennifer Lucas with the Cleveland Clinic. Dr. Taylor says this question is not new.
I've heard that as well. Pretty much my whole life.
But is there any validity to these claims?
What we know when it comes to breakouts related to food is that when you have spikes in your sugar, so when you're eating things like sugary drinks or you're eating, pastas, white rice, things like that, that really make your sugar go up quickly. Sometimes in candy there's lots of sugar too. So anything that makes you have spikes in your glucose or in your sugar in your body makes you more likely to get a pimple.
Dr. Taylor says it's important to know everyone's skin is different, so something that can cause a flare-up in one person might not in another.
But there will be people who are more prone to having acne, and they could potentially have a worse breakout if their glycemic index gets too high.
If you notice your skin is breaking out, Dr. Taylor says take note of your diet.
Someone who breaks out all the time, if that person has identified certain foods or beverages that make their acne seem to flare up, start paying attention to that, and then just don't do those things. Just avoid or minimize.
So we can verify that while chocolate itself doesn't cause acne, the sugar and other ingredients in chocolate can contribute to breakouts. Both doctors say if acne is something you're struggling with, a licensed dermatologist can help you sort through all of these factors and come up with a treatment plan. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
If you have something you would like verified, just email us at verify@wcnc.com.
On our latest installment of Pride Magazine's health and education issue, there's a local nonprofit highlighted inside who's doing the work each and every day to create safe spaces for women. Through our Pride Magazine partnership this month, we take you to True Solace, where they're looking to serve women of color who often don't have equitable access to mental health resources. It's a place where women and girls can be their true selves.
For me, I've had to balance college and high school classes, as well as band and then work. So trying to find the time to do homework and work has been hard, but when you really do find a balance, it can help you succeed.
Wise beyond her years, high schooler Brooke Holmes finding zen at a place called True Solace. True Solace has become a place for women and girls just like Brooke to be her true self and tackle the myriad of issues that life throws at you even at a young age.
You don't want to get to such a bad point in your mental health where you can't reach out and you do something that you'll regret later.
Women and girls, especially the ones that look like me, have a hard time engaging in mental health.
Born from Renisha Black's passion to bring quality access to people who are often forgotten about, she went back to school to become a therapist. Her nonprofit, then born in May of 2023. True Solace finds itself in the midst of the country's mental health crisis in a corridor that needs immense support. Beatties Ford Road.
It hasn't been something that our culture has encouraged them to participate in. So that's why our mission is focused on girls and women of color. Women and girls and women of color have always been forced to believe that they're super women. We're not super women. It is okay to ask for help.
True Solace works in many of the schools along the Beatties Ford Road corridor and provides different options for therapy like group or play therapy for kids. There are even opportunities for parents.
We're really targeting programming that's meeting a need instead of us telling the community what they need.
Program manager Jackie Garcia says everything was intentionally focused on women and families, from the board to the programming and even experience-based specific support. As a parent of 3 biological children and a foster parent of teenage 16-year-old boys, she created a program entirely focused on parents fostering children and that challenge.
Some of the programming here was born out of gaps that I've experienced as a parent in the community.
Since opening, True Solace has raised more than $125,000 to support their mission and expand services. And it all came to fruition by an act of courage, the passion that spurred Black to provide a place for people to show up.
Just creating a space where people could be heard and understood and be honest and vulnerable, because I think sometimes even in mental health treatment, you have to show up okay. And True Solace is really a place where you just have to show up.
In addition to the group therapy we just spoke of, True Solace has bilingual play therapists hoping to break down any other existing barriers for others. Their mission is to fill in those type of gaps that often create an absence of services for people of color. So this story is part of our continued Pride Magazine partnership series, which will go on. You can find all of those inside the WCNC Charlotte mobile app. Read their full pieces inside the Pride Magazine.
WCNC Charlotte is making a difference with your help. When you share your news tips, we go to work.
I sent you that email 15